Hey traders and investors, it's Serge Berger here. Today I want to go through an important topic that is quite important to the current market environment. It's really, what we're talking about here is being able to trade around a core long or a core short position for that matter, although for the most part core long positions it makes more sense to do so. So if you look at the current market environment, of course, we've had a massive sell-off in the energy sector over the past couple of months, and the XLE, so that's the S&P 500 energy sector ETF, has been absolutely destroyed in that time. Look, if in a current example, I've actually managed to nibble a little bit on the long side of the XLE and sort of started assuming a bit more of a core long position in this sector. But what I'm starting to look to do now is, given the volatility, is kind of trade around this core position, because I do think it's going to remain volatile. Instead of doing this through options, particularly the puts or calls, straight puts or calls on the XLE. So if, let's say, if I want to keep the XLE and it got overbought and I want to buy some puts, or if I think it gets oversold, instead of buying more of the XLE, you could buy some calls. It's called trading around the core position, so not really touching the XLE, the stock or the ETF, but trading around it. Another way you can do this is find an ETF that's somewhat similar, and I say somewhat because obviously you're not really going to find exactly the same one necessarily. So for example, the OIH, which is the the Market Vectors Oil Services ETF, contains a number, particularly on the higher percentage ones of the ETF, of the XLE, which is actually exactly what you want to look for. Look for that the largest holdings are somewhat similar. In the OIH ETF, somewhat qualifies having similar holdings to the XLE. So when the energy sector gets another round of sell-offs, I would look to actually buy the OIH instead of calls on the XLE, to sort of go proxy long and trade around the XLE position. It's just one. I'm just showing you one other way of doing this. Of course, you can also do this buying puts or calls. On the other hand, right now, if I think the OIH is going to go a little bit lower, keeping my XLE position, I could short the OIH. So this is just one way of trading around a core position, which becomes a particularly juicy strategy to do when the markets are volatile and you want to hold on to some stock through a medium-term lens. I hope this makes sense. As always, if you got any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter, my Twitter handle is SteadyTrader, and I'll see you in the next video.